Strange drone flying over your home could feel
533 of these bunkers out here.
The mysterious monolith discovered in a remote canyon in Utah.
You might not think much about drones at first glance. They've become so commonplace.
Nested triangles and swirls in exactly parallel line.
However, drones have a knack for uncovering hidden wonders and surprising secrets. Recently, a drone stumbled upon something incredible in the middle of nowhere, purely by accident.
We were monitoring the shark to see where it was going.
Let's dive into this fascinating discovery and explore what might have remained unseen without the drone's eye in the sky. 1. Drone captures man sunbathing on wind turbine. In a jaw-dropping video that seemed straight out of a movie, a drone pilot named Kevin Miller was cruising his drone around a massive 200-foot wind turbine in Rhode Island. Expecting just some cool aerial shots, he stumbled upon a sight that would make anyone's day: a man casually sunbathing atop the turbine. And guess who the sun worshipper was? None other than Brother Joseph Byron, a Benedictine monk from the neighborhood monastery. Yeah, a monk chilling in the sky. The video captured Brother Joseph, at first just lying there, lost in his sun-soaked reverie. But then, he heard the drone, sat up, and waved cheerfully. Talk about a chill response to an aerial surprise. This sky-high sunbathing spot turned out to be Brother Joseph's secret getaway for peace and great views. He snuck up there through a maintenance door and a ladder leading straight to the top. It was his perfect escape from the world below, offering quiet time and a breathtaking panorama. So next time you think you found the coolest spot for some R&R, remember Brother Joseph might have just one-upped us all. Keep your eyes peeled and maybe avoid wind turbines if you're looking for a quiet spot. 2. Glory Hole Spillway. In February 2017, when Lake Berryessa in California's Napa Valley was about to burst its banks, the infamous Glory Hole Spillway sprang into action. The crew at Lake Berryessa News, never one to miss a spectacle, whipped out a drone to capture the hypnotic dance of the whirlpool from above. Nestled in the heart of the Monticello Dam, there's this monstrous drain hole known as the Morning Glory Spillway, or for those who love a bit of drama, the Glory Hole. This beast of a hole with a gaping 22-meter diameter hungrily sucks in water at a staggering 1,300 cubic meters per second to keep the dam from flooding. This massive hole channels the water through a colossal concrete pipe, spitting it out about 210 meters away. But hey, hold up. Since 1997, getting too cozy with the Glory Hole has been a big no-no. After a tragic incident where a woman lost her life, the area's been off-limits. Despite that, during the dry spells, some daredevil skateboarders use the dried spillway as a ramp. Not the safest hobby, folks. With Northern California's weather being as predictable as a plot twist in a thriller, the Glory Holes made a few curtain calls recently, thanks to some heavy downpours. 3. Cornfield Clown. A drone operator decided to do a little aerial exploration over a vast cornfield. Just your typical day filming the sprawling greens, right? Well, not exactly. As the drone buzzed overhead, something bizarre caught the camera's eye. An eerie figure decked out in a clown costume, complete with blazing orange hair. At first, the clown seemed just a part of the scenery, standing motionless in the field, almost like it was part of a creepy art installation. But things took a wild turn when the clown spotted the drone. Suddenly, it wasn't just standing there. It was running, bolting toward the field's edge, and vanishing into the trees. Now, what was this clown doing out there? Was it a prank, a bit of performance art, or something more sinister? This sighting came around the time of those nationwide creepy clown reports, so it definitely sent shivers down some spines. Whatever the case, this freaky encounter is one for the books and a reminder that sometimes reality can be stranger than fiction. 4. Man climbs a 1,500-foot broadcast tower. This jaw-dropping drone video captured a guy named Kevin Schmidt scaling a monstrous 500-foot broadcast tower in South Dakota. Why, you ask? Just to swap out a light bulb? Yeah, the kind that warns planes not to crash into the thing. Now, Kevin isn't just some thrill-seeker, he's a pro at this. The drone followed him as he inched his way up the towering relic, which used to serve the now silent KDLT-TV. Every step he took, carefully secured by his safety gear, just amped up the tension. It was like watching a nail-biter movie scene where you couldn't look away. The perspective from the drone, absolutely vertigo-inducing, it showed not only the dizzying heights, but also Kevin's rock-solid focus. When he finally reached the top, he didn't just change the bulb, he snapped a selfie. Talk about a high-altitude photo op! Watching Kevin conquer that tower, all while surrounded by South Dakota's endless plains, is nothing short of breathtaking. 5. Mass sheep herding. This drone video captures sheep being herded in New Zealand, and trust me, it's not your usual snooze fest. Filmed by photographer Tim Whitaker, this footage transformed an everyday farming chore into a visual spectacle. Here was the scene. Sheep, lots of them, were moving from one paddock to another. But this wasn't just any sheep shuffle. Set to a soothing ambient tune, these sheep swirled around in stunning bird-like formations that were downright hypnotic. Filmed above a farm in Hawke's Bay, which quickly blasted into viral fame, Whitaker offered a unique glimpse into this pastoral dance. Why? He was the only drone operator around who was certified by the Civil Aviation Authority. Originally tasked to snap some stills for Beef and Lamb NZ, a marketing gig, he couldn't help but capture the sheep's wild patterns on video. And what a decision that was! The sheep weaved across the meadows, crafting mesmerizing patterns that made an ordinary task look absolutely extraordinary. 6. Shark filmed circling surfers at Plettenberg Bay. In this heart-stopping footage captured by young drone enthusiast Zach Berman, a massive white pointer shark is seen cruising just beneath the waves off South Africa's Western Cape.
Monitoring the shark to see where it was going, and it started heading towards the surfers.
Zach, a 14-year-old aspiring wildlife drone photographer, was out with his dad at Plettenberg Bay, keeping an eye out for sharks when this behemoth appeared out of nowhere. At first, Zach couldn't believe what he was seeing. The shark, a huge white pointer, moved stealthily closer to the unsuspecting surfers above. Everyone on the beach tried to warn the surfers, but the shark stayed hidden beneath the waves. Zach, mastering his nerves, kept the drone hovering over this ocean giant. Just in the nick of time, a jet ski rider zoomed in to alert the surfers, who paddled frantically back to shore. Once safe on the beach, Zach showed the surfers the drone footage and their jaws dropped. One surfer was especially shaken up. The shark had been right in front of him. Despite the scare, some surfers were back in the water soon after, shrugging it off as just another day at Plettenberg Bay, known for its shark sightings thanks to a nearby seal colony. 7. Ice circles. This guy, male, was just minding his own business, skating across a frozen lake in the remote wilds of Alaska. Pretty standard stuff, right? Well, not quite. With his trusty drone buzzing overhead, capturing the icy expanse, he stumbles upon something that's truly a mind-bender. Giant, perfect circles etched into the ice. Like some kind of frosty crop circles. We're talking about over 50 rings, some stretching nearly 300 feet across. From the ground, these might just look like your average winter oddities, but from up above, pure artistry, the kind that makes you question the laws of physics and maybe even reality itself. Now, the theories on this one are all over the map. Some folks reckon it's methane gas bubbles doing a dance and freezing up in neat little circles thanks to the spinning of the Earth. Others think it's just the weight of snow pressing down on the ice, causing it to crack and refreeze in spectacular fashion. But here's the kicker: none of these theories can pin it down for sure. This spectacle lit up social media, with everyone throwing in their 2 cents, marveling at the mystery and beauty of these icy enigmas. 8. Mysterious religious etching. In 1990, something wild popped up in Oregon's Alvord Desert, a massive religious etching right in the middle of nowhere. Officials were scratching their heads, thinking this needed some serious high-tech gear, while the UFO crowd was all about aliens doing a drive-by art drop.
Mysterious design has appeared, scratched in the dirt of a dry and isolated Oregon lake bed.
But here's the twist. It was just Bill Witherspoon from Iowa and his buddies. They claim to have pulled off this intricate Sri Yantra mandala with nothing but sticks, wires, and a whopping 12 miles of string tied to a basic plow. And get this, they did it in 10 days. The spot-on geometric precision floored experts. I mean, how do you get that sharp with sticks and strings? Skeptics were buzzing, saying there was no way this could be legit, especially since the military, flying around all the time, never spotted them. The plot thickens, though. The Bureau of Land Management actually bought Witherspoon's story, but still slapped him and his crew with a $100 fine, each for etching on public land. Not one to quit, Witherspoon came back the next summer, legally this time, and carved an even bigger piece on private land, mixing up Hindu and Native American vibes with 9 miles of red, volcanic, cinder-filled etchings. 9. A ghost in a white dress. A drone buzzed through the eerie expanses of Cannock Chase Forest in Staffordshire, England. Known as one of Britain's most haunted spots, this forest just added a new layer of chills to its legend. Caught on camera was a young girl darting through the trees with eyes as black as the night. Seriously, her eyes were unnaturally dark, ramping up the creepy factor of this already mysterious forest. This spooky sighting had everyone talking about the black-eyed children of Cannock Chase, a tale that had been whispering through local lore for ages. So, here's the backstory. Back in the 1800s, a nasty diphtheria outbreak swept through, claiming a bunch of kids. Rumor had it that the black-eyed girl was one of these poor souls, stuck roaming the woods forever. There was also talk about a darker past from the 1960s, where a guy named Raymond Morris did some truly awful stuff in these woods. Some folks thought the spirits of those victims were still lingering. Now, with this drone footage out in the open, both ghost hunters and skeptics flocked to Cannock Chase, eager to catch a glimpse or debunk the stories. 10. Monolith in Utah desert. Back in November 2020, what was supposed to be just another day, checking out bighorn sheep from the sky, turned into a scene straight out of a sci-fi flick. Officers from the Utah Department of Public Safety's Aero Bureau were flying high above the southeastern Utah desert when they spotted something totally out of place.
Investigate the alien life form.
In the middle of nowhere stood a mysterious metal monolith, towering about 10 to 12 feet high, gleaming against the backdrop of natural red rocks. This wasn't just any oddball desert sculpture. It looked like it had walked right off the set of Stanley Kubrick's 2001, A Space Odyssey. Theories went wild online. Was it a modern art piece? Something from outer space? Everyone turned into a detective overnight, especially when it was suggested that minimalist artist John McCracken might be pulling a fast one from beyond the grave. The viral drone footage had everyone glued to their screens, showing officials climbing up each other to get a better look at this shiny enigma. Despite trying to keep its location hush-hush to avoid a tourist stampede, sharp-eyed netizens were quick to track it down. And just like that, as if it heard all the buzz, the monolith disappeared a few days later, whisked away by locals worried about the fragile desert turning into a tourist trap. 11. Giant crop circles. This drone buff named Alexei Zagorodnikov was just zipping his quadcopter around the Volga region near Tolyatti in Russia back in the hot summer of 2015. While he was reviewing his drone footage, he caught something that would make your skin crawl. Intricate crop circles, clear as day, smack in the middle of the fields. And these weren't there just days before. Talk about a spooky anniversary celebration. It was exactly 10 years since a similar freaky finding in the same spot. Cue the X-Files music, right? As soon as the footage hit the airwaves, it stirred up all kinds of chaos. The local UFO buffs from Cosmopoisk, always on the lookout for extraterrestrial shenanigans, rushed over. They were all over those crop circles like detectives, snapping photos and comparing them to the old ones from a decade ago. But guess what? The mystery just dug itself deeper. The story exploded beyond Russian borders. The crop circle images got leaked and sparked a global debate that had everyone from alien hunters to hardcore skeptics chipping in their 2 cents. Were these crop circles a cosmic message or just a wild prank? Either way, these circles in Tolyatti are still a mind-bender that keeps everyone guessing. 12. Abandoned fishing hut in Germany. There's this spooky tale of an old fishing hut, right? Caught on drone camera, nestled on the shores of Obersee Lake in Germany's Berchtesgaden National Park, it's like stepping straight into a ghost story. This rickety shack, once a cozy spot for fishermen, now sits abandoned, its weathered wood and shattered windows painting a creepy picture against the stunning lake and mighty mountains. And let me tell you, the scene is weirdly gorgeous yet eerie. It's this bizarre mix of nature's beauty and a creepy, forgotten building that kind of sends shivers down your spine. Nature's slowly clawing back what was once hers. And the hut? Well, it's just falling apart. Lost to time. The whole vibe of Berchtesgaden, with its wild landscapes and crystal-clear lakes, makes you wonder about the secrets it hides. This hut is just one of many old places out there left to battle the elements alone. Thanks to the drone, we got a sneak peek into this hidden gem, adding a whole layer of mystery. 13. Bike graveyards in China. This eerie site on the outskirts of Nanjing, China, has been catching some serious drone attention, a massive bicycle graveyard. Sounds chilling, right? This drone footage zoomed over an open yard, swamped with over 10,000 shared bikes that had been yanked off the streets by the city's bigwigs. And trust me, this isn't just a small pileup. Back in the day, China was hailed as the bicycle kingdom, with everyone pedaling around in the 70s and 80s. But fast forward to the 21st century, and it's all about cars. Recently, though, they tried to bring bikes back with these hiring schemes, but they went from 0 to 100 real quick, ending up with way too many bikes. 14. The last house on Holland Island. A drone caught this video of the last house standing on Holland Island. Yeah, that tiny speck in Chesapeake Bay that nature's been gnawing at for decades. Once a bustling spot, with watermen and their families, all vibing since the 1600s, by the 20th century, the island was slowly devoured by rising seas and fierce storms. Now, the star of the show, a Victorian-era house built in the late 1800s, all by its lonesome, battling the relentless tide like a scene from a dramatic flick. This old beauty was the last of the Mohicans, a symbol of human grit against Mother Nature's wrath. Enter Stephen White a Methodist minister with a hero complex. He bought the house in '95, poured a whopping $150,000 into breakwaters, sandbags, and even a sunken barge to shield it from the tides. Spoiler alert, nature doesn't back down. Despite his valiant efforts, the house succumbed and collapsed in 2010, poof, just like that. 15. An abandoned concrete bunker. In this eerie drone footage, a lone pilot skims over the forgotten wilds of South Dakota when, bam, there it is. A creepy, abandoned concrete bunker smack in the middle of nowhere.
Community that feels like it's at the end of the earth.
This relic from the Cold War era, built to shield from nuclear threats, now just sits there, engulfed in vines and the tales of yesteryear. As the drone hovers closer, the scene gets even more spine-tingling. The bunker, with its thick concrete walls battered by time, holds inside a ghostly snapshot of survival. Faded sanitation kits, rusty water tanks, and survival supplies that whisper of days spent waiting for a disaster that never came. Imagine stumbling upon this hidden fortress, a stark reminder of fear and protection during one of history's most nail-biting periods. This find is a blast from the past, capturing the essence of a time when the world stood on the brink. 16. Underwater statues. In 2014, a drone buzzing over the Bahamian seas captured footage of something you'd never expect to see outside of Egypt, a massive Sphinx statue lounging underwater. Weighing a whopping 3,000 pounds and traced back to an Egyptian quarry, this enigmatic sculpture's presence on the ocean floor is a real head-scratcher for historians and archaeologists alike. How did it get there? The mystery continues to stir up more questions than answers. Switching gears, let's plunge into the Molinaire Underwater Sculpture Park off Grenada's coast. Opened in 2006, this isn't your typical museum. Created by British artist Jason de Taylor, these sculptures go beyond art. They're a lifeline to damaged coral reefs. Fast forward, and the park recently got an upgrade with 31 new pieces, mirroring the vibes of Grenada's lively carnival scene. Not far off in Indonesia lies another of Taylor's creations, the Nest at Gili Meno. This circle of 48 life-size statues isn't just for show, they're a sanctuary for marine life, promoting coral growth and biodiversity. 17. Dad shoots down drone hovering over sunbathing daughter. In a wild twist out of Louisville, Kentucky, 47-year-old William Meredith became an overnight sensation after taking down a drone. His teenage daughter, just 16, was soaking up some sun in their garden when she spotted this drone creeping overhead. Not exactly your typical bird-watching scene, right? Feeling the dad's vibes strongly, Meredith didn't just stand back. He watched that drone like a hawk, trailing it as it buzzed over the neighborhood. Then, armed with nothing but his trusty firearm, he waited for the drone to cross into his airspace. And bang down went the drone, shot clean out of the sky, all while making sure he wasn't shooting across roads or anyone's fence. 18. Submerged cities. In 2001, marine archaeologists were poking around with sonar tech off India's coast in the Gulf of Cambay, right? They stumbled upon a city underwater that's possibly 9,500 years old.
Gujarat is the place where 5,000 years ago, after leaving Mathura,
We're talking a mega-ancient city submerged 120 feet down, with walls and plazas sprawled over 5 miles long and 2 miles wide. Initially, these folks were conducting pollution studies with the National Institute of Ocean Technology, and then, hello, history! Diving deeper, they unearth stuff like pottery, beads, and tools that paint a picture of a civilization way ahead of its time. Imagine a bustling, advanced city now sleeping under the sea thanks to some dramatic sea level rise and tectonic shifts from the last ice age. Oh, and cut to Egypt, where in 2000, underwater ace Frank Gordillo and his crew discovered the ancient city of Heracleion under the Mediterranean Sea near Abukir Bay. This place was once the hotspot for trade and religious rituals around the 6th century BCE. Now, it's home to some epic underwater treasures like colossal statues and inscriptions that tell tales of its vibrant past. 19. The Marfa Mystery Lights in West Texas. A drone was zipping through the vast desert near Marfa, Texas, when it caught something bizarre on camera: the infamous Marfa lights. These weren't your average lights. They'd been spooking folks for over a century with their eerie dance on the horizon. Think orbs of light popping up in red, blue, or white, zipping and zooming near the Chinati Mountains without any clear reason. Cowboys and ranchers had been gabbing about them since the 1800s. Now these lights weren't just flickers. Sometimes they glided slowly. Other times they shot across the sky like they had a plane to catch, then poof, they vanished. It was enough to make you wonder, right? 20. Enormous statues hidden in jungles. Deep in the dense jungles of Central America, drones buzzed overhead, decked out with LIDAR tech, bringing the shadows of ancient civilizations into the glaring light of today.
Hidden beneath the vast canopy is a lost world of the ancient Maya.
Stumbling upon El Mirador in Guatemala is not your average backyard find. This place is a treasure trove from the pre-Columbian Maya, hiding under a heavy jungle blanket. Get this, they've got pyramids there that give the Great Pyramid of Giza a run for its money. We're talking about La Danta, one of the largest pyramids ever built. Thanks to LIDAR slicing through the jungle canopy like a hot knife through butter, we're now clued into these monumental structures that the pre-classic Maya folks left behind. El Mirador? It's been playing hide and seek since the 1930s, when planes first snapped pictures from the sky. It's been off the radar due to its remote digs, but now, with tech-savvy archaeologists and digital wizards on the case, it's stepping back into the spotlight. So next time you see a drone flying above, remember that it might be capturing something extraordinary. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.